Let's talk about expectations. There's been a lot of conversations I've been having lately with people about living in an expectation of something. Now, an expectation is a strong belief or an assumption that you have around the way something should happen or the way something should be. And when we're stuck in that expectation, we start to lose the real vision that we're searching for, and it gets quite blurred. So I want to start to run through some of the way expectations creep into our lives and how it can often set us up for disappointment. So let's kick it off with probably the one that most of us can relate to, and that's the expectations set by other people around us. And those are your family, your friends, could be people that you're working with, associates or anything like that. And that's because they have a vision and an assumption in their head of the way things should look. Let's look at the family, for example. They might have this expectation that by a certain age you should be married, settled down, starting to have a family, and growing up in that sense. And when you feel you're not landing in those little squares that they've created, it can sometimes upset us and disturb us in that sense that we're not heading on this right path that we're supposed to be on. And the expectations also around the behavior or the responses that we have with co-workers, our boss, or anyone around us in that life, that we have this expectation that they should react to it in a certain way or behave in a certain way because that's the way that we do it. And then when they don't, it can trigger you into having a negative reaction to that and being disappointed and probably angry at them in some points in that way. So the other expectation we live in is comparison. This is probably a really big one here, especially around with the social media, about this expectation about how maybe a successful life should be, a successful business should be. It might be through people we know or that we meet. We might look at them and go, wow, they've got all their life together, they're doing really well, they've got great business, everything's great, but we don't really know that for certain because it's a projected image that people create. So comparing ourselves, having that expectation that we should be at this certain level because social media tells us all these people that we know in our family or friends are at this level. Again, you can often start to disappoint yourself when you feel like you're not getting there and you're not achieving what you should. And the big one obviously is the ones that we set by ourselves, the perceptions that we have. So in regards to how we interpret what the family says or what social media tells us where we should be or how we should be living, it's the idea of what something should look like. When we start saying, well, we should be here or I should be doing that from there, it creates that upset with us because we feel like we're not doing what we need to do in our life to get there. But what that's doing is we're not clarifying what our vision and what our purpose should be, because we're living in this expectation set by other people and set by society or social media. So when we do that, we're starting to set unrealistic and unachievable goals to reach. And then when you can't reach that goal because they're living a different life to you, their experiences are different, their circumstances are different. So you're not going to be able to create an exact copy. And that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to copy someone else's life and output and journey. And that's where you start to fall apart because you can't. Because you have your own values, your own vision, your own purpose, and your own goals. So when you pull yourself out of this expectation of what things should be or the way they should be based on everything else around us and start to create a vision that's aligned with you, you can then break that down to start setting small goals to get the steps you need to start moving towards that vision and that life for you. So stop living in expectation, stop looking around at everyone else and thinking, this is where I should be, that's what I should be doing, why aren't I achieving this? And start looking at what you are achieving in life, because I can guarantee you're achieving lots of things in life, you're just not paying attention to it. We tend to hang on to a lot of the negative things that we do, the things that we're not doing. I'm not doing this, or I haven't done that, or I can't do this. Instead of looking at all the little things that you do and that you are achieving and that you are accomplishing, switching that mindset around of taking yourself off the negative and putting yourself into the positive will really start to change how you look at yourself and how you interact. So drop the expectations that from everyone else. let them give it to you, because it's going to happen. People are going to pour onto you what they think the ideal life or the perfect thing should be for you. Just let it bounce off you, wash off you, and just really focus on a vision that you have for yourself. Where do you want to be that's aligned with your values and your purpose and your beliefs? And then create a plan to get there. So recapping, the expectations are set by others, by comparison, and obviously set by you based on the other two. So if you're struggling with getting out of the expectations of others and you're looking at creating a vision for yourself and then a plan to achieve that vision, and you're struggling a little bit there, or you're stuck with it, feel free to reach out below. My details are there. Send me a message, send me a text. Let's talk and let's see how we can get you going on that vision and dropping the expectations of others.